I'm Izzy Sakoda, and I'm a current senior here at Iolani. And this year, I decided to conduct research on the effects of meditation on the overall well-being and sleep quality of adolescents. So this project is actually a continuation of research that I conducted last year. Last year, I conducted research on the effects of meditation on mental well-being and the stress levels of adolescents here at Iolani. But taking a step back, the whole reason why I wanted to start doing this research is because I've benefited from meditation myself, but also as a member of the Iolani community, I really believe that meditation or just some kind of mindfulness practice can really benefit not only the students, but the faculty as well. And so as Iolani faculty, Iolani students, and parents, you all know that one, Iolani students are extremely stressed out, and two, they don't get enough sleep. The National Sleep Foundation declares that adolescents need at least 9 hours of sleep to be able to function properly. But a study conducted in 2010 reported that 68.9% of adolescents are actually not getting that much sleep. And the high stress comes from academic pressures, social pressures, and as Kelsey mentioned, the biological changes that happen within our body during puberty. And so this is where meditation comes in. Essentially what meditation is it's an awareness training. It allows you to gain a healthy perspective, but in addition to that, what it's really doing is it's training the mind to observe the thoughts in the present moment without letting thoughts and emotions that pop up kind of take our attention away from what's really going on around us. And so previous research has shown that meditation is an effective way of improving well-being and sleep. So my research this year aims to use a mobile app, Headspace, for meditation. One, because traditional meditation interventions are costly and take a lot of time up. Second, I wanted to improve the sleep quality and mental well-being of adolescents here at Iolani. And third, I wanted to determine whether a meditation program at Iolani is one, feasible, and two, effective. So my main question was, will meditation in a school setting lead to a measurable improvement in mental well-being and sleep quality? And how I tested this was using an A-B study design, A-B standing for the phases. So phase A was no meditation. This served as the baseline or control. And phase B was the meditation intervention. So during this time, participants did 7 Headspace sessions, which were 10 minutes each, and this took place over a 2-week period. The little scientific people in the chair symbolize when I gave my participants their measures. So who participated in this study is I had 100 7th, 8th, and 9th graders participate in this study, and they participated through their life skills classes, religion classes, and health classes. And the measures that I used were the Warwick-Endenburg Mental Wellbeing Scale. This is a self-report measure that monitors well-being, and the range for this scale is 0 to 70. And some examples of the statements used in this scale is, I've been feeling optimistic about the future, I've been thinking clearly, and I've been feeling confident. Participants would rate their feelings on a Likert scale from 1 to 5. In addition, I also used the Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Index, which Kelsey also used. The range for this scale is from 0 to 21. This is a self-reported measure of sleep quality, and some examples of the statements used are, how much of a problem has it been for you to keep up enough enthusiasm to get things done? And how would you rate your sleep quality overall? Again, participants would rate their feelings. And so I found that Headspace led to a statistically significant improvement in both mental well-being and sleep quality. Looking at the PSQI results first, there was an improvement of 0.84 points. The overall mean decreased from 6.03 to 5.19. And for this particular survey, a lower score is indicative of better sleep quality. This was statistically significant. And for the well-being scale, there was an improvement of 2.55 points. For this particular scale, the higher the score, the better. So the overall mean improved from 50.66 to 53.21. And again, this was statistically significant. So, let's make some sense of these numbers. Comparing the participants in my research to participants in previous research, you can see that their scores at baseline were around the same. Looking at the PSQI score more closely, previous research has shown that my participants did score poor on the sleep survey, but looking at the scaling of the well-being survey, the participants in this study were around the same as those in previous research. And from this study, I also concluded that mindfulness programs, specifically here at Iolani, can be one, feasible, and two, they're effective. I say feasible because I actually ran a trial earlier in the year with a group of seniors. I started with 10 participants and ended with 10 participants. In this trial that I presented here, I started with 100 participants and ended with 100 participants. So again, very feasible. And effective because of my results, statistically significant, shows improvement. And so also, it's feasible because it's time and cost effective. As I mentioned, they did this on an app, so it's free and it's quick. So continuing this research process, I'd really like to do a longitudinal study. I'd like to assess the effects of meditation over a longer period of time. I'd like to follow an adolescent throughout their high school career. I think that would be interesting. But also, like I mentioned earlier, there's many different benefits to a mindfulness or meditation practice, and I'd like to take a look at some of those as well, such as focus and anxiety. I'd also like to use brain imaging as a measure of a physiological effect that meditation can have on an adolescent's brain. And lastly, I'd like to see how meditation affects elementary school students, as there have been previous research on them as well. And so I've also learned a lot through my 2 years doing research. First, I've learned that there's always more to learn, and that in order to understand one thing, you need to understand another thing. So really, it just snowballs. But also, I've learned that experience allows the whole research process to run a lot more smoothly. The first year I did this, I was worried a lot more about logistics and people. This year, I was able to really focus on my research. And lastly, the research that we do here can have an impact. I think seeing all the different projects at the science fair is really eye-opening, and it's really touching to see how research done by other high school students can have an immediate impact on our society today. I'd like to thank Dr. Chan for her support, her countless hours of reviewing drafts, and for her helpful advice. I'd like to thank Dr. Stern for his research advice, his support, and his guidance. I'd like to thank Mr. Bowman, Mr. Weggio, and Mr. Sagawa for giving up their precious class time to participate in the study. And I'd also like to thank the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 12th graders who participated in this study. It truly would not have been possible without them. Thank you.